everybody. Welcome to the Hallmarkies podcast. And we are really excited today. We have Mark LaClark is here in on the podcast to talk with us. Matt Hamilton is back. And Matt, thank you so much for coming to talk with us.
Thank you for allowing me to talk. It's one of my favorite
Yes.
things. It's one of my favorite
Yay.
things. In fact, sometimes I don't shut up.
Well, I was really excited when I saw that you have on Up TV this weekend, your movie, Two Chefs and a Wedding Cake, is coming to the States. It's airing. And so exciting. Congrats. And I know it was 3 years
Right.
ago for you, but it's new for us.
Yeah, that's right. I know when you messaged me and I was like, what? Because that movie was released in like Europe, I
Okay.
guess. And
Yeah.
like it's on a streamer here in Canada called Crave, but it's like a French version.
Oh, really? That's
Um,
funny.
yeah, strange. I don't know. So like I told you, I'd never seen it.
So
I
you didn't even know until I messaged you that it was going to be on Up
Yeah,
TV? That's so
yeah.
funny.
Well, because that company that does those that they're like knockoff Hallmarks essentially.
Yeah, yeah.
They're like Hallmark, but like a third of the budget essentially.
Sure.
And so, but their model used to be uh they do these things for like $1.2 million. And they'd sell them to Europe first. They had a big buyer.
Okay.
Uh,
Yeah.
but that buyer went bankrupt. So this company doesn't do this anymore. So
Oh, okay.
I
So
don't
the
know if
real
that had anything
one,
to do
they're
with
not doing it
what
anymore, huh?
here. Yeah. So that company only does like thrillers and Christmas movies now because I mean Hallmark has got like the North American market dominated for
Right.
that stuff. And quite frankly, I think Hallmark does it better.
Right.
They have
Ho, ho, ho. We'd like to take a second and thank our sponsor for this episode of the podcast. It's the Hallmarkies Patreon.
Do you love Hallmarkies podcast, especially at Christmas?
Do you enjoy the holiday previews, recaps, interviews, and bonus episodes?
If the answer is yes, please consider supporting the Hallmarkies Patreon. We need your help to do what we do both during the Christmas season and all year round.
But not only do you help a podcast led by strong, independent women by becoming a Patreon, you get to become a part of the Hallmarkies family.
Starting at only $2 a month as a patron, you will have access to our Facebook Patreon group where we talk about the movies, shows, and more all year.
We also have many monthly patron watch-alongs with guests like Lacey Chabert, Natalie Hall, Paul Campbell, Mary Lou Henner, and more, giving their behind-the-scenes details of their films.
As a patron, you also have the chance to provide input into the podcast and even join us at different tiers.
So this Christmas season, spread some cheer to the Hallmarkies Patreon and become a member today. You won't regret it.
Go to patreon.com/Hallmarkies to learn more.
That's patreon.com/Hallmarkies.
I mean, everybody's tried to get into the Hallmark game, and nobody has been successful at duplicating what they do. I mean, it's incredible
yeah.
what they do.
Yeah, they've cornered the market, you could say.
Yes, yeah. Well, the last time that we had you on was July of 2022, if you can believe it. So,
Oh, really?
yeah, that's when we had you on.
Oh, was that
Yeah,
before? Oh, that was before Three Wise Men even
yeah,
came out.
yeah,
That was before I even shot it. Yeah, that's right.
yeah. That came
You
out
know
in
what's funny?
2022,
I
the
went
first one.
from Paul called me about Three Wise Men and a Baby while I was shooting this movie.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So
And so this movie, like when Paul called me, he's like, "Hey, me and Kim are doing this thing. We wrote
yeah.
a role for you in mind. Do you want to take a look at it? It's
Oh, really?
funny and whatever." And so this movie, I'm a lead in Two Chefs and a Wedding Cake or whatever. So I'm on set, like, sometimes the number two, the guy lead,
Uh-huh.
you can have a couple days off because it's usually all about the girl.
Sure.
But because this Two Chefs and a Wedding Cake is like a destination location movie, I'm in like all the scenes
Yeah.
with her. So I didn't have any days off, and so I was on set like every day. It was pretty exhausting. It was tiring.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then Paul, and it's like, oh, I can come do this comedy with my friends, and I'm in like five scenes, and I can like show up and leave. Hell yeah, sign me up. I'll do that right now.
Yeah. So you had worked with him before? You knew
Paul?
Paul? Yeah.
Yeah, we worked
Yeah.
together on. Oh, I guess yeah. Oh, yeah. So I got some good Paul Campbell stories. We worked
Yes.
together on fuck, what's the name of it? Oh, shoot. Sorry, I swear sometimes.
That's okay.
Um, Holiday Hearts? That be a Paul
Okay.
Campbell
Yeah,
movie?
that would be. Yeah, yeah. That's the one with Ashley.
Yeah, right. Okay, that.
Okay. Okay. Yeah.
So and I played his best friend in that when we got along really well,
Uh-huh.
and
Oh, well,
then
good.
we kind of remained buddies, and then
Uh-huh.
we did Turner and Hooch
Oh,
together.
yeah.
Although we didn't
Uh-huh.
really have any scenes together.
Wait, you were a cop in that, right?
That's
You were
right.
one of the cops. Okay. Yeah.
And
Yeah.
he
Yeah.
was a dorky marshal or whatever.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
our subplots didn't intertwine, but we got to kind of and the last day, the wedding episode,
Uh-huh.
we got to hang out all day, so that was fun.
Yeah.
And then so I had at that point when I was doing Turner and Hooch, I had stopped doing Hallmark movies. I just wanted a break. I wanted to try some
Sure.
different things. And then Turner and Hooch got canceled. And then I remember going to my agent and being like, "Hey, let's open the door for Hallmark again because working's fun, money's
Uh-huh.
fun." And then the
Yeah.
next day she called me. She goes, "Hey, I got an offer for a Hallmark thing." I was like, "What? Oh, that's fast." And so what had happened was uh, Kim Sustad, who I didn't know at the time, was trying to find a husband for North to Home, but they were having trouble finding
Okay.
somebody because they had to be tall, like because Kim's, she's a tall drink of water.
Yeah.
She's
She's
five,
tall.
I think 5'10", 5'11", something like that.
Uh-huh.
And then she was with Paul Campbell, and she's like,
Well, that
"Well,
would make sense because yeah, because
they're
he's
friends, and
tall.
I think they were writing or working on scripts together." And she goes, "Hey," and Paul's like, "Hey, well, oh, just get Matt Hamilton to do that." And the director, Ali Liebert, we've known each other, we've worked together before.
Yeah.
She's like, "Oh yeah, let's get Matt." So that's that, which led to
Well,
Kim and Paul writing the thing with me in mind,
yeah.
which then led to uh the what's the other one I did with Paul? Cases of Mystery Lane.
Yes. Yeah,
Which,
we're going to talk about that too. But I'd love to hear that because Paul was the first celebrity that we ever interviewed on the podcast.
oh, cool.
Very first. We go way back with Paul Campbell.
Dude, he's the best. Yeah,
Yeah,
and so
absolutely
the
great.
Cases of Mystery Lane came up the same thing. He called me like he said, "Hey, I kind of got something similar to Wise Man. We're doing this mystery series. There's this cop in the first movie. He's not in
Uh-huh.
a couple scenes, but we want it to be funny."
Yeah.
I was just like, "Well, my
Yeah.
scene, and it's gonna be bigger moving forward." I'm like, "Okay."
Uh-huh.
My scenes
Yeah.
with you, and he said, "Yeah." I'm like, "All right, sure, yeah, I'll do it." So he got, which it ended up leading. Paul got me North to Home, two Wise Man movies, and two Cases movies. He's kept me alive the last 5 years. He's like
Yeah.
my agent.
I love it. That's great. I mean, yeah, you have stayed extremely busy. I have looking so 2024 there were 4 projects, 2025 there looks like 4 on IMDb that are upcoming and then there's 3 that have already been released. It's pretty good.
Yeah, I mean, busy's good, and considering one of those years was a strike year, where
Yeah.
no one
Yeah.
worked 7 months. Um,
Yeah.
yeah, we're grinding out here.
Yeah. What's your secret to booking so many?
Oh man. Well, you know what? Like I just said, I mean, especially when it comes to Hallmark and stuff like that, and those things where, I'm familiar. Obviously, like auditioning helps, but a lot of it's just like relationships I've cultivated.
Yeah.
And David Strasser is a director. I've worked with him 9 times. So like the Wish swap, he said, "Hey, do you want to do this
Yeah.
thing? We got a really fun cast." And I was like, "Yeah, sure." And then I remember at the time when I read the script, I was like, "Oh man, I don't really do anything in this. Why am I doing this?" And then I kind of like tried to get out of it, to be honest with you. I was like to my agent, I'm like, "Hey, why am I doing this? I'm not doing anything in this."
Yeah.
She's like, "Well, you said you wanted it to be like a yes year after the strikes, and you're working with your friends." I'm like, "Yeah, you're right. You're right." So it was like an ego thing. And by the way, I'm so happy I said yes. Then I did it because A, I got to work with David again. It was super fun. My character still doesn't really do anything in that in that movie, but I got to meet Jake Foy, and we become like good
Yeah.
friends. Everyone on there was Emily Tennant. We were friends on like Instagram before, my old Instagram before it got hacked.
Uh-huh.
Um, and we had mutual friends and we had like chatted, but we've never like had met or hung out or worked together. And then I've known Crystal Lowell for years and I haven't seen her in a long time. So it was so much fun. I'm glad I did it. I'm glad my ego didn't uh,
Yeah.
get in the way of that. But it's so yeah, for me, for especially for Hallmarks, it's just, Hallmark is kind of aware of what I can bring to the table in terms of films. Although they haven't hired me for a lead, and I'm on the list of approved leads. So
Uh-huh. Oh,
that's
well, see, we need to get you up the
yeah,
leagues. We
someone
need to
has
get
to
you
get.
move up on that list. I mean, I would do anything to see that list. I would really
Yeah,
list.
Strasser and Jason Burke, also director. They're the ones who told me they're like, hey, by the way, you're on the list of like approved because with have
Oh,
you audition for a Hallmark movie, it's only for like the leads are already set. The
yeah, yeah.
main one is always the girl usually, and then and so you have this like list of people you can choose from that the network's like, yeah, we're good with any of these.
Well, and I mean, some of my favorites have been the non-Hallmark in this space in the last few years. Mixed Baggage is a movie that I absolutely
Oh, I
loved.
almost did that one. Is that the
Oh, it's so good.
I was pinned for the lead guy on that.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Yeah,
and
it
then I
was.
didn't get that. I ended up getting something else instead because that was with the redhead girl, the lead, whatever her name.
Uh-huh.
What was
Yeah.
her?
Leanne.
Leanne.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I love that movie so much. It was so good. One of the best rom-coms, period, like in the last 20 years, in my opinion.
Cool.
It was really good. But yeah, so there's some Christmas on Fifth Avenue. I love that movie. So there are some good players in the
Mhm. Mhm.
in the
Well, as
genre.
long as like sometimes the budget doesn't really matter as long as you're
It
concerned
comes
about
down
the
to the
quality of the
script.
script. Yeah. And so
Yeah, we're
sometimes it can be co-opted a little bit in terms of like for the ones that we did,
uh
like for specifically this movie that the two chefs, which again I haven't seen. Um, but I do know talking to the director and then doing the ADR on the movie that they took out a lot of the comedy.
oh, so
This
that's
is
too
really
bad.
they sell, and their reasoning is they sell it to Europe first, and the North American comedy doesn't translate there. And so
Yeah.
that's the most important thing because that's where they make their
Oh,
money, right? And so that bummed me out because we had some funny jokes, especially at the end. Did you watch the movie?
oh, I did watch the movie. Yeah, yeah.
So did you like it? Be honest. You can say no.
It was a little boring, but I didn't hate it.
Yeah.
But I can tell they took the funny out.
Even like there
I
was a
could
bunch of stuff
tell.
with me and Mark Anthony that they
Yeah.
cut out like just bantery stuff, and then I mean there's just one scene. God, it sounds like I'm bashing the movie, but there's just one scene where we're taste testing pancakes or something like that.
Uh-huh.
I saw that clip. Someone posted that clip, and it was like, God, that's like 2.5 minutes, and there's nothing really happening. We're just like sitting there. How do we not move this along? Like, where's the jokes? But the
Yeah.
scene I'm talking about specifically that drove me nuts is the last scene in the movie where we like walk up to do the kiss or whatever.
Right, right.
Which, by the way, funny enough, beautiful location we're shooting at. We're shooting at this like house that these people built that just grew up in. But at that time, two forest fires had started across the lake. So helicopters were going,
Oh,
and we had
wow.
30 minutes to shoot like the end of the movie because they're running out of sun. And we're gonna have to ADR the entire scene because there's helicopters. So we're rushing to shoot this important movie, blah, blah, blah. But there was one line that I loved because Peter, who's like the romantic love interest, who's played by a buddy of mine, Jamal, who's a stud. He's a
Yeah, he was good. He's
he's a
very dreamy.
former professional football player. Like he's
Yeah, yeah.
anyway. So at the end of the movie, I'm like, hey, listen, I know you have Peter interested, and I got him like, and she goes, he's really hot. I'm like, he's super handsome. There's no way around that. He's very handsome.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna throw my hand, and they cut all that stuff out. I was like, oh, come
Wow.
on.
I could tell. I could tell. I'm not surprised to hear that.
Yeah.
That's too bad. That really is. That's too
But,
bad. Well,
wait,
maybe it's better. Maybe the movies will improve now that there's not the Europe uh
Pipeline.
worry.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're worry. But yeah, so I want to talk about that. But so Cases of Mystery Lane, that whole scene where you interview the podcasters made me die.
Yeah.
It was so
Yeah.
funny. And I like to hear that they are trying to work in more comedy into these romantic comedies. Like, you don't want to forget the calm in the rom-com.
Exactly. Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. Right.
And it just made me laugh because I'm like, this is what Hallmark thinks about podcasters. They're showing their hand here. They think.
Oh man. And there was even some stuff we had to cut out because
Yeah.
for time, obviously. And me and Paul really tried to like, because they did an extended version of the Three Wise Men
Yeah.
streaming, and that was a huge
Right.
hit
Yeah.
because we did so much comedy in the second Cases of Mystery Lane. It was so funny, and we were really pushing for an extended cut to go onto the thing. Like why? Like why? It's the audience
Yeah.
that likes it. It's like it obviously they didn't do it, but I was just like, wow, that seems like a
Well,
no-brainer.
especially now that they
Nominal
have,
cost to edit a longer one, and then you get like a different movie for the
yeah.
people.
And now that they have Hallmark Plus, they should
Yeah,
totally do that because who cares how long something is in streaming?
exactly.
It'd be perfect.
Especially if it's a hit, then you get more.
Yeah.
I mean, unfortunately, I think Cases is canceled, but it was still like numbers wise,
Yeah.
pretty good.
Yeah.
Um,
It was because usually when Hallmark portrays podcasters, it's
yeah,
in a somewhat villainous light.
right.
That we're like gossips, that we're like not, it's like it's usually not a good thing. Oh, you went on a podcast. Um,
Yeah.
and so that was
Oh, we
it was a
covered like
funny
they had like
portrayal.
every kind of version
They
of
really did.
whatever
And you
podcast.
come out and you're like, did you understand that at all?
Yeah. Oh man, that was so funny.
It was
Especially the
really
guy who
funny.
played like the super nerdy, like,
Yeah, the Lord of the
God,
Rings.
he was hilarious. And he's like,
Yeah.
that's kind of like who that guy is too. So God, I'm like, just go, just do what you're doing, but just go. Because I'm gonna
Yeah.
I think they used the version where I dropped the pen. I'm like, what? Like that? But
Yeah.
oh man, that was so funny.
Yeah. So for the Three Wise Men in movies,
Yeah.
do you all get to improv at all for that, or is it pretty close to
Oh
the
yeah.
script? Okay. Yeah.
Oh no. I mean, uh, super fortunate that the script's really funny, but
Yeah.
they let me kind of like you've seen the movies. I'm a
Yeah.
lunatic. Like Black Market Penguins was not in the script. Like that. It's just like I try and come up with a different thing every time if there's like a joke beat. Like What Up Nerds, I think was me.
Yeah.
I think it was
Hey, look! I just love when you're like, "Hey, losers!"
yeah.
That made me laugh.
Oh my God. It's so and there was this one take in the second mystery, not mystery, Wise Men, when I
Yeah.
in the extended version when I go to the concession with the two kids and they don't have eggnog. One of them,
Yeah.
and it was funny Terry who directed it because shooting those movies is hard because the first one there's pets and kids
Oh
and
yeah.
all this stuff and like all these stories that are important. The second one there's this huge play with all these kids and it's like we're running behind and I remember he goes, "Okay, Hamilton, can you please just stick to the script for this one? Give me one where you stick to the script because it's like two lines." I'm like, "Yes, yes." And then of course we shoot it. I'm like, "Okay, no, give me one more and just go. Just let me go. I'm just gonna go."
Yeah.
And so I just went on this like whole
Oh
like, what do you mean
man.
you have eggnog? What kind of world is this where we're turning our backs on eggnog? That used to be the Christmas thing that everyone made everyone come together. And now it's gone because what? Health? Who cares about it? I do this whole rant. And then I'm at the end, I'm like, you know what? It's not your fault. Society. It is. But thank you for listening. Appreciate it.
Yes.
And then I walk off and the kids are just like, what just happened?
Like, what did I just
Yeah.
experience?
What did
That's
I
hilarious. I love Mark LaClark. I think he's
do?
so funny. And I mean, I asked Russell Hainline about it, and he was like, he said it's really hard to not just keep writing Mark LaClark jokes. And I was
Yeah.
like, yeah. spinoff is required. Like we need
Yeah.
required.
Mark LaClark goes
It
into
was
a
just
Christmas
so
company.
funny. And I like that kind of like broad humor. Like it
Mhm.
obviously it can be done poorly, but I'm a sucker for it. Like when it's a little over the top.
Well, and when you're because you can't have like an entire movie of Mark LaClark, or you got to change maybe the tone a bit.
Yeah.
It's like
Yeah,
it's
it comes
you drop
in.
it in here, you drop it in there, you drop it in there. Otherwise, you rely too if there's too much of it, you rely too much on that, and it becomes less
Yeah.
effective, I think. But
Well, and like Tyler's so funny with it. He's like, who is
great,
that man? Like, what is
yeah,
happening?
Tyler's great because he
That
does
made
the
me
like
laugh.
straight man thing, and Tyler's so funny because Tyler's like so analytical. It's like he's got all of
Yeah.
it down. I remember at one point when in the second one, uh, when I come out on stage saying we're going to do all this stuff.
Yeah.
I'm like, is this Christmassy? I'm like, hey, relax. These kids are gonna remember this for the rest of their lives, probably in a good way.
Yeah.
And then Paul goes, probably. Wait, and then I walk off, and Tyler's like, wait, hang on, we can't do that because if there's any thought that the kids think that'll be like the motivation for us, like it would be off. So I don't think that works. And then I'm going, yeah, but it's funny. I don't know, it's
Yeah.
funny. I think we should do it. But he's like,
Yeah.
no. I'm like, okay, it's your movie. Actually, that's
Yeah.
fair. Like, so his idea makes more sense. But I
Right.
like always lean for like, what's a
Yeah.
funny line I can walk away on, or I can add something here that's just a little bit different.
Yeah. Well, his sort of mystification with the character, you could feel that in the performance too. It was really funny. It worked.
Yeah,
Yeah, it was good.
yeah,
Yeah. I mean, I can imagine that there are tricky films to make because there are so many moving parts and so much talent and to all
yeah.
balance together. I'm sure it's tricky.
Well, yeah, and like especially when you think about the budget, and which is usually about $3.5 million, give or
Yeah.
that sounds like a lot of money, but it's
In the world of movies. Yeah.
hard to
Not
make
much.
a movie with that, but also like because there's three main characters, so each of those their story arcs has to have to be weighted equally,
Hmm.
and then you have all these supporting things, and you got all this like Christmas grandeur, and because especially the first one was such a hit,
Yeah.
you got to go bigger for the second one.
Yeah. Well, I'm probably in the minority. I mean, I liked both a lot, but I think the second one is even better because like the whole premise of the first one with her leaving that baby, even though he's not the father, I was like, come on. The only thing that would make sense is if he's the father, but they didn't want to do that for Hallmark. But
Yeah,
so the premise was kind of like not the best, but I didn't care because everything else was so funny. It was fine.
yeah,
But the second one, I didn't even have that barrier. So it was just like all
yeah.
fun.
Yeah, second one was really fun.
Second one was really fun. Plus, I'm a theater lover,
Oh
community
yeah.
theater lover. So that whole plot was great.
Oh man, and Paul and Kim, like Paul, they were working like because they're in it. Obviously, Kim's not. I mean, she's got a cameo
Yeah, cameo.
again, but they're like doing that, but also like rewriting and reworking and as the movie's going.
Hmm.
And it's just like the nonstop work. Like they were just like, okay, go, go, go. Okay, we have this scene coming up. How do we make that? Whatever. It was just like they were
Yeah,
constantly just their weekends on the script, and but it paid off. It really
yeah.
worked.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's cool with them, the writers being present, that they were cool with the improv and with the adding to, that it
Yeah.
was evolving
Well,
piece of work.
I think that's important in comedy.
Yeah.
That's what my role is, and so
Yeah.
I try to do that for. Like I just finished a comedy movie, and which I was a writer on, but I I have a smaller character in that one, but every take was different. I just want to give like options. Like, okay, this is funny. I wrote
Yeah.
this. I think it's funny, but also think this is funny. This might play better. I don't know. What about
Yeah.
this? And I'm just gonna go off on this one, and then maybe we can find something in there that really
Yeah.
cooks. Sometimes it's you end up going back to the script. That's the thing that
Yeah.
works the best. But sometimes you find these little nuggets, like
Yeah.
the black market penguins. Oh, I said that, like the whole fucking crew erupted.
Yeah.
And then Terry just came out. It's like, yeah, it's because I had like And then during that whole speech, I got like, see, I can see my place from the space station. I almost started a world war. Yeah, Russia attacked my house, and then the Russian war started like 2 months later, and I'm like, oh, they're not going to keep that line. That line's gone. But yeah, I just have like all these different things, so I'll try and
Yeah.
like jam in as many jokes as possible, and then whatever works works.
Yeah. Like, take a second and thank our sponsor for this episode of the podcast. It's Utah local indie romance author Rainy Dang and her new novel, Miss Nguyen's Bodyguard. This novel brings a Vietnamese love story to life. For her safety, Claire Nguyen is sharing an isolated cabin with her family's brooding bodyguard, Cage, and he is doing all he can to keep his hands off her while under the watchful eyes of the security cameras. Will Claire be able to open her dream bookstore and live the humble life she craves? Or will she face the daunting task of continuing her parents' multi-billion-dollar legacy? Either way, will she be able to keep Cage in the process? Rated 4 out of 5 chili peppers. This one's got a little bit of spice, but it's a lot of fun. So you should definitely check it out. Use the affiliate link below. It's Miss Nguyen's Bodyguard by Rainy Dang. So when you got the call about 2 chefs and a wedding cake, you must have been pretty stoked to get a lead.
I think that was my first. I remember I got called. I was driving up to Whistler. I was in Whistler. That's a ski community in Vancouver.
Uh-huh.
I was stoked, although I was supposed to be going to Disneyland with my then girlfriend at the time. But that's okay. That was my first. Oh, no, I had done a lead before, but not in a rom-com. I'd done like thriller stuff. And that actually that kick started like I did 3 and like I did that one. And that was my first rom-com, which I wanted to do just to get like have it under my belt because
Sure.
good to have. And then I followed that up. I did one for Fox and then one for Lifetime again, the hoax thing. But yeah, no, that I was super stoked. And I'd be even stoked if like Hallmark, hi guys, hey, call me. I'm available. Guess what? I'm free right now. You got a movie shooting right now? I'm free.
Yeah. We want it. Hallmark.
Want it. I also want to go on that like Christmas thing in
the cruise.
Cruise or like the Kansas City thing or whatever.
Yeah, we're ready. If for Hallmark, if you're listening, we're ready to be the official podcast of the cruise. We can do it. We're ready.
Let's go.
We can do a great
job. Deal. I'll come with you. Package deal.
Yeah. Yes. The one thing I did think was fun about this movie is that you have a lead character who's a critic.
Yeah.
Because as a critic myself, I appreciated that. Usually critics are portrayed as like the villain.
Mm-hmm.
We're the jerks. We're terrible, horrible. But it was fun that we have a rom-com about a critic.
Yeah, and
so I like that.
I was a whiny jackass hothead, although
you didn't want any critics reviewing your food.
Yeah,
because you're a chef, and but I liked Francesca in this. I thought she was really good.
Yeah, she's good. That was her first.
Mm-hmm.
I remember she would like there are times that she would stress out about we have to know our lines. We have to. I'm like, yeah, we'll be fine. Like I retain lines really quickly, and so I'm like, but she was like she wanted to be so prepared, and which is that's what you want. That was her first lead. She wanted to make sure that she had it. I mean, there's nothing worse than you working with somebody who's not prepared. That's like the most infuriating thing. It just drags your day. But for me, I mean, I just like I retain quickly, but also like by the time you're shooting. So if you go over it the night before, I'll go over it the night before and kind of decide what I want to do, and then the next day you block the scene, so you kind of rehearse it to see where you're going to put the cameras and the lights and stuff like that. Okay, break, and then you go back and get your makeup done or whatever. Then you come back and you rehearse the scene to make sure everything kind of lines up. So then after you do that, then you shoot. So by the time you've already shot it. You've already done it like 3 times. So
yeah.
If you prepare the night before enough that you get it, by the time you shoot it the next day, you should be pretty dialed.
Yeah, I mean, and I can see though, like just how fast these movies are made though, that would be pretty overwhelming, especially if they're changing the script and they're, making, that would be hard.
Yeah. And it's I mean, I did a movie where I'm not gonna name her. It was a thriller movie. I was the lead. I mean, you can maybe figure it out, but she would like the lead actor just wouldn't come to set some days,
Oh,
hours late, or wouldn't come back from lunch.
oh,
And so they'd have to like pull scenes for me from other days, and which is not ideal how you want to work. But I mean, you got to keep the movie going. And also, I kind of prep 3 days in advance if I'm like the lead of a movie. So I'll have the next 3 days in my head and that I've gone over all the lines and I have a pretty good idea what's happening. And I can just also kind of wing it and make something work if we need to.
yeah.
So yeah, I mean, sometimes you get curveballs that
Mhm.
are okay. All right, we're not doing that. Okay, or it's like, oh, we can't shoot it. We can't shoot this location here because something. So we got to figure something else out to get whatever. It's like,
Yeah.
okay, so you do have to like, if you're not prepared, that kind of screws you for that kind of stuff. If you gotta pivot. And
Well, that's why I think like these soap opera actors do so well in these, because they're ready to go 100 pages a day
oh,
shooting.
God.
I mean, it's intense. It's crazy.
Yeah. I mean,
You
Dylan
know?
Neal, who did, I worked with him on a couple things. Um, and we became buddies, but he said that's what like prepared him
Yeah.
for that because it's just like you have to learn 30 to 50 pages a day of dialogue. And like soap operas didn't matter if they don't care about the performance. It's just like, did you get the lines? Cool. Moving on to the next. Boom. Like
Yeah.
that. And so that was like the ultimate like actor training that could kind of prepare you for any kind of role.
Mhm. Yeah. Well, the fun thing about having the lead be a critic is that not only are we usually portrayed as the villains, but it created a natural enemies to lovers arc within the story for you.
Yeah.
And you had a natural reason to have that animosity be
Yeah. A
there.
natural source of antagonism for
Yeah.
sure. Yeah.
Yeah. Because I mean, the thing that people don't understand about criticism is that, like, I look at myself as more of an advocate for theater and film, which is, what I cover, not food, like in this movie. But like my advocacy doesn't advocate if I don't have criticism, like if I'm just because there's a website here in Utah where their theater reviews only positive. They only give positive reviews. And I guess if they don't like it, they just don't review it or whatever. And I'm like, okay, but then who takes you seriously? Like,
Yeah.
what does your praise even mean? If like, I feel like that, like, and I feel like there's a way to do it with humanity and kindness.
Sure.
That for a long time particularly on YouTube, which is the hardest medium to do criticism. But on YouTube, it was like the angry critic. Everybody's like, it was almost like an act. It was supposed to be funny because they're all upset, these horrible movies. And that was a thing, but it's pretty much died out. It's pretty much faded out. And so like, I don't know. I guess I feel like I get it. If you've worked like super hard on something and then hearing somebody doesn't like it, I get it. That's gotta hurt. That's gotta suck a little bit. But on the other hand, like, I wouldn't want to be patronized too,
No, and when it comes to art, when you're making art as well, like, everything's subjective. So there's going to be
Yeah.
something that somebody doesn't like.
Yeah.
And
And
that's okay.
yeah. And when like what I just said about mixed baggage, like people know I really loved mixed baggage because they know when I didn't like stuff, like it all.
Yeah.
And especially I kind of feel like these TV movies are sort of the underdog of the film world. They're never given like the respect I think that they deserve, but they're scrappy and
Yeah.
they're fun and they're satisfying a genre and an audience that like literally nobody else is satisfying. You can't go to the cinemas and see a romantic comedy these days. It just doesn't happen.
No, that's kind of dead. It's kind of
There's
dead.
none. I mean, I was excited about the Materialists, this movie that was coming out. I just saw it last night. It's not a rom-com at all. And they've totally been advertising it as such. Like, I didn't really like it, period. But like, even if people like it, it's not a romantic comedy at all. And it's just like, I don't know, it's just frustrating. But that's why I feel like these little rom-coms are doing an actual service. Like, people love them and people want them, and it's how you can watch them.
And they're also like, they're ultimately they're the hardest thing. They're one of the hardest genres to make good, in the sense that, like, you know how they're going to end.
Right.
You know what's going to happen. So what you got to do is make the journey the interesting.
Yeah. Like, so much is depend on chemistry and banter.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. And so make it fun. Make it have weird supporting characters, I think.
Yes.
Like, do these, get quirky with it. Take chances. And I think, I mean, they like I said, they cut that a lot of that out of this movie. I mean, it's above our pay grade.
Right.
No one, like the director, didn't have a choice. That's unfortunately business. It is commerce as well as art.
Sure.
Sometimes the commerce part wins.
Right.
But yeah, like, and make it fun. Like, people like people falling in love. People like to be happy, and let's entertain them while they're being happy.
Yeah. So, was it fun, since this was your first rom-com lead and her and Francesca's, like, doing that together and both kind of taking it on for the first time?
Yeah, it was fun. Again, it was like two different kind of ideologies. Me going,
right.
I'll be fine. Yeah, I'm good. Yeah. And her going, okay, can we go over the lines tonight? Can we, whatever? So we'd like meet in our hotel and over a glass of wine or our hotel room and go over all the stuff and just hit our beats. And I always try and find stuff in the dialogue I want to change to make smooth flower. That's flow smoother. Or have a joke or something. I always try and find my moments where I can, like, okay, this is a good moment where I can find a different line or add to it or whatever. Because this one too got, like, the first script was fun, but it got overhauled for budget. So the girl who played Stephanie, who played my best friend who broke her ankle, originally we were in the whole movie together, catering together. And it was cool that it was like, oh, so we have this, he's got his best friend, but it's a girl, and it's not like she's not gay or anything like that. It's just, they're just friends. You don't see that very often, where, like, his best buddy is a girl. And so we had some really funny banter stuff, and Stephanie's a good actor. It's a friend of mine as well. And so I actually met her on that, but I was like, oh man, we really got along. Like, this would be so fun. But then we got the next version of the script and she was almost completely cut out.
Oh, that's too bad.
I know. And so that, I mean, that was the first sign. I was like, we're kind of losing the thing that made this fun. Like, we're losing a lot of the energy, the fun energy. But it's all right. I think. I mean, all right.
Yeah, I agree.
Mark Anthony's hilarious. That guy's so funny.
Yeah.
We'd like to take a second and thank our sponsor for this episode of the podcast. It's the Hallmarkies merch store.
Are you looking for that perfect gift for the postable, Hardy, or Hallmarky in your life?
What about getting that t-shirt or hoodie that will help you stand out at your next holiday party?
Now is the time to check out the Hallmarkies merch store.
Full of festive designs by artists like Jessica Miller, Carrie from Hallmark Comics, and more.
You can even have more than just shirts, but totes, cell phone cases, notebooks, mugs, and more.
And it isn't just Hallmark. We have designs for Anna Green Gables, Man from Snowy River, The Nanny, and more.
Every purchase at the merch store goes to help support the podcast and allows us to make the great content you know and love.
There are frequent sales, so go to tpublic.com/stores/Hallmarkies or see the link in the description.
That's tpublic.com/stores/Hallmarkies.
Well, so you have coming up, you have something called the Marshmallow Experiment. What is that?
Oh, that's not a Hallmark movie.
No, not a Hallmark movie. But what is it?
That's one I'm a writer on. That's the one, the comedy we just finished. It's a story about a high school kid. It's like super bad kind of vibes.
This is Steve Buscemi. That's exciting.
Yeah, the cast is awesome.
Josh Lucas, Sarah
Diamond,
Chalk. I love her.
she's so cool. She's so nice. So I was in this. I was a writer on it, and I'm an associate producer. But yeah, we just wrapped a couple weeks ago. I'm still working on. There's like a small animated part of this movie. Essentially, it's this kid
Ah.
who is a high school kid who's becomes addicted to porn,
Mm-hmm.
and it's his journey to like get off that.
Okay.
So he joins this online community that's animated to kind of help with this addiction. So it's a
Ah.
comedy about like I think the
It's
director came up with the idea, but I think it's like a real world problem for
uh-huh.
high school people now. And so we're, a comedy about something I think is an issue in
Yeah,
society,
yeah, yeah.
but making it funny. And
So how did you get involved in writing? Have you written before?
that's how I got into acting.
Oh, okay.
I graduated from, there's my, there, I got two degrees
Okay.
up there. Vancouver Film School for screenwriting and then University of Victoria for writing. And so that's how I got
Nice. I
into
forgot
acting.
that.
So I've written a couple things. And so this one specifically, the company that did this movie has optioned has a script of mine optioned, even though it's like a heist crime thriller. But
Uh-huh.
the producer's read a bunch of my stuff, and I've got some comedy I've written.
That's
So
cool.
he took me for lunch in December and was like, "Hey, we got this comedy thing. It's kind of raunchy, vulgar, but we want it to be funnier and to have
Yeah.
and do you want to take a look at it?" And I love coming of age movies. Like I love Lady Bird and Booksmart and Superbad and Edge of Symmetry.
Yeah.
I love all these movies. So I sent like some notes and some sample rewrites and of a couple scenes and what I would do. He loved it. I met the other producers. He loved it. Daphne Keane, who's like the lead
Uh-huh.
girl. She's like the young Wolverine from Marvel.
Uh-huh.
I met a meeting with her. We were on the same page. And then I signed the contract the next day. And then boom, I got writing.
That's that is really cool. That's exciting. Well,
That
very
won't
good.
be out for a while though. I mean, I think
Yeah, it'll be a bit.
that's next year.
Okay. Well, we'd like to end our interviews with some fun get to know you questions. So, first one, what is the best ice cream flavor?
Oh, okay. Someone asked me this the other day. So what is my go-to? I really like Rocky Road because it's got the chocolate peanut
Yeah.
butter chunks. I'm not saying that is my answer yet. I'm just talking. Uh, Cookies and cream is kind of a classic.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Um, so if I'm getting ice cream right now and it's really nice and sunny out and I live across from the beach, so this is a perfect ice cream day. What am I going to get? Cookie dough? Uh, I think I'm gonna do. I mean, chocolate, just regular chocolate's a classic. I'm gonna go. Okay, Matt, shut up. You're gonna get ice cream right now. What are you getting? It's Rocky Road. I think I'm doing
Rocky
Rocky Road.
Road. Okay,
Yeah.
good. Yeah. You could always get multiple scoops. Like
I
live
know, but
wild
for the sake of the
on the
question,
wild
I
side.
wanted it to be one, and I'm gonna be on there.
All right. What's your favorite color?
I think blue. That's such a boring answer,
Yeah.
but I don't know.
That's all
I
right.
like blue.
Blue's a perfectly respectable color.
Yeah.
What music are you into?
Oh, I'm all over the place. Like I was
Mm.
playing darts last night. I had a couple friends over, and I've got a record player over there. So we're
Uh-huh.
some like Miles Davis, like jazz music,
Oh,
and I put on some old Rolling Stones. But I like 90s hip hop. I like hard rock.
yeah.
Listen to that much new hip hop, but I was just listening to some indie kind of folk rock music before I started this.
Uh-huh.
I'm you can throw on country and I'll be like I'm
Nice.
not a huge I don't have country on my phone and I probably can't name many songs,
Uh-huh.
but when it's on, it's like, oh, okay, yeah, this is nice.
Yeah.
Summer. So
Cool.
I just like when there's music, just not heavy like dance, EDM, drug
Right.
fueled psychosis music. Like I'm good on that stuff.
Anything else you're good with?
Yes.
Okay, that's good. All right. What is your go-to date night food?
Ooh, go to date night food. I mean, Italian pasta.
Yeah.
I love and then
Yeah.
bottle of wine, Italian food. That's kind of
Yeah. Sounds
although
good.
Vancouver, like sushi's a good option too. Like if
Yeah.
I'm like summer,
Yeah.
like
Well,
going to
sushi is good because there's very little like spillage risk. Like
yeah,
it's somewhat dainty, which is nice.
big time. We could take it to the beach
Yeah.
here and just have some sushi at the beach and watch the sun.
Plus, you can get some like hints of how brave
Yeah,
your date
exactly.
is at the
Chopsticks and
sushi. Be
what are we
like, oh.
doing here?
Yeah. All right. What's your go-to date night activity if you're going out doing something?
Um, well, I like to mix it up. I like to do something like um interesting, like not just like the usual dinner and movie. I love movies. I'm a lunatic for movies, but not for like date nights or first
Yeah.
dates. You don't really get a chance to talk. Um, but
If you do the movie date, we always recommend don't do dinner in a movie, do movie and dinner.
yeah, exactly. So you can hang out, talk about the movie after, and do that
Yeah.
kind of thing. Um, hanging out on the beach, going for a hike, going for a walk, playing some pitch and putt, going to the Grand Island Market. It's like there's all these cool things there you can see. Just you know, something
That
different.
sounds good. Yeah.
Get to know. I always like. I don't.
Farmers market. I think that'd be fun.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, that's kind of what Grand Island is. It's like right across from me. They got all these different. It's this huge market thing, and or you know what, going to a play is fun.
Mm-hmm.
So that's not a movie, but it's a play because it's kind of
Yeah.
interactive.
Mm-hmm.
Live music,
Mm-hmm.
going to like a cool jazz bar or
Yeah.
that has live music. That's cool. So that's kind of my thing.
Yeah. That's good. All right. Which do you like better, dogs or cats?
Dogs, cats can get
Okay.
the hell out of my life. Actually,
Yeah.
asterisk. I'm becoming. My
Oh,
brother had a
more. Oh,
rest in
you're
peace.
yeah.
Cat just passed away, but he was such a sweet, cuddly little guy. Billy. Rip Billy.
Well,
But so I'm becoming
yeah.
more of a cat person, but
Yeah.
dogs.
Well, I mean, cats, you have to earn their love. Like
Yeah, and some
dogs
cats
just
are
give it.
psychotic. Dude, I was hanging out once at my cousin's place.
If you have a good relationship with a cat, then you've earned it. You are a good person, as
I
far
was
as
hanging
I'm
out
concerned. Like,
I was hanging out at my cousin's place once, and his cat went on my lap, and I was just like, "What's up, cat? What do you want?" And I was just kind of like petting it, and then it just went and hit me here and hit me here, and like hung on my face for a second, and I was like, "What
they-
is going on?" And then it just like ran away. And I was
yeah,
like, "What was that?" I got these two claw marks on my face. I'm
yeah,
like, God, I don't have to worry about that with a dog. The
yeah.
dog's the happiest he's ever been every time he sees a person. This
All
cat
right.
just tried to kill me.
What is your favorite, beaches or mountains?
Oh man, that's because I'm a skier. That's hard.
Oh,
I'm a skier.
I
I
thought since you live near the beach, you'd
I
pick
live across
beaches.
the street from the beach. I oh man, I had to pick one. Hey, Matt, hurry this up. It's not an essay. I'm like really torn.
Uh,
I think in terms of oh my God, I'll say beach. It's summer. I'm going beaches.
okay.
I love mountains. I have a ski a year pass at Whistler.
Uh-huh.
I go skiing as much as I can. I love it,
Yeah.
but beaches.
Yeah. All right. What's your favorite holiday to celebrate?
This should be easy. None of these. What do you mean? This should be easy. I can't answer one question in under 5 seconds. Like it should be easy. God, I'm an
Oh,
idiot.
good.
I think Christmas.
Christmas.
Fun.
I
Family
mean,
comes together. You get to do all this fun
yeah.
stuff.
It's hard to beat Christmas because it's like a whole season where like most of these other are
Yeah.
just a day or maybe a week or
Yeah.
yeah. It's a whole season. So
Yeah.
all right. Last question.
Hit me.
What's your favorite Hallmark or romantic movie?
My favorite Hallmark or romantic movie. Um, my favorite. Well, you know what? Did you ever see Past Lives?
Uh-huh.
I love
Yeah.
that. I mean,
That
it's
was a good movie.
so effing sad.
Mm-hmm.
But I'd say that's my favorite romantic. I'll throw a favorite Hallmark in
Uh-huh.
just for the sake of it. It's obviously going to be something I'm in because
Yeah.
I'll be honest, I haven't really seen
Sure.
much outside of it other than clips. But I think, you know what? I loved the last Cases of Mystery Lane.
Yeah, it was fun.
I thought it was
Yeah.
really fun.
Yeah,
It was like a mystery, like that
it
really
was.
into the comedy, and that it's not a lot of those out there. And Paul Campbell kills me. He just makes
Yeah.
me laugh. Like
Yeah.
we have a hard time working together because we just can't stop cracking each other up. Like, we'll have to like look away on our coverages or like turn around. Like we're insane.
Yeah.
We're
Yeah.
insane people.
Good choice.
But yeah, that.
Well, yeah, it is a good choice. I mean, Past Lives, I was very impressed by it as a character piece, but I have to, when I first watched it, I watched it at Sundance.
Yeah.
And I was so stressed out watching that movie because I liked her husband so much. He was so
Yeah.
nice. And I
Yeah.
was like, don't leave your husband. Please don't leave your husband. Please don't cheat on your husband. And so the whole time I'm just like, oh. And then of course she doesn't. Spoiler alerts.
Yeah.
And so then it was like, okay. But I was so stressed out. I was like,
Yeah.
oh.
Yeah. Yeah. It's heartbreaking. I mean, it's probably not a great example of a romantic movie, but I remember it was my favorite movie of that year.
Yeah,
Time I did that list.
film. Yeah.
It's funny you do like I do my favorite movies lists, and how they can change over time. It's like,
Yeah.
you know what? Yeah, I watched
True. That's
like
true.
I'm not gonna watch Past Lives as much as I'm gonna watch something else from that year's probably just because it's so sad.
Yeah. And stressful.
Stressful.
It's true. Yeah. And then there's those ones that are just so rewatchable. Like, I don't know. Like one of my favorite movies, like ever, is Sing Street. Have you ever seen Sing Street?
Oh yes. Yes. I freaking love that movie.
Yeah, it's so
Love
good.
that movie. That's one of my go-to recommendations when somebody wants a feel-good movie.
It's
And
so good.
it's terrific.
I love everything about it. And that's a movie that I could watch. I could literally watch it every day. And I don't think I'd ever get tired of it. It's
Like a
just so
warm hug.
good.
Like a
It
warm
is. It is. Yeah. 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 Well, there we go. You did it. You answered all the questions.
Look, you're gonna have to cut this. This is like a 6-hour podcast. This is a James Cameron podcast.
Yes. Well, thank you so much for coming on and doing this. We really appreciate it. And if people want to follow you on your Instagram or whatever, like how do they do that?
Yeah, well, it's a new Instagram now because some hacker took my other one.
Oh man.
It's Matt Hamilton official, Matt Hamilton _ official. Hold on, let me double check. I mean, do you think I should know? Matt Hamilton _ official. Yeah, follow me on Instagram. Say what's up. Tell me that I talk way too much, and just follow along in my life.
Well, and we'll be excited for the eventual return of Mark LaClark.
Yeah,
Let's
is he
do
coming
it.
back? Is he coming back?
I hope so. We want it. We all want it.
I mean, I do that forever. So I don't know.
Come on, Hallmark.
Yeah.
We need more Mark LaClark.
I mean, you probably know more than I do at this point. I'm just like, if they tap me on the shoulder, hey, we got more. I'm in.
Yeah.
So just Paul and Russ, Hallmark.
Yes.
If there's more,
Let's
I'm
do
here.
it.
I'm
Yeah.
available. Let's go.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's a nice because usually Hallmark sequels are terrible because they don't know what to do next with the couple. They've gotten together. They don't know what to do next. And so they're usually really bad. But this one, it makes more sense and it works because you got multiple characters. So it's not just like, what are we going to do? It's about the brothers, not just romance.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I wonder how many you could do. I think I mean, I guess you could probably keep doing it. They're talented people and they're fun guys, but I mean, at some point it's got to end. I would think there would be a third one, right? The second one was a huge hit, too.
I think this needs to be a trilogy. I really do. Yeah.
I do too. Let's make it happen.
Yeah.
Let's put it out there. A trilogy.
I do whatever I can.
Yeah.
I wish I had more influence than I did.
Hey,
I do.
Me and you both. You both.
Very good. Well, again, if you're listening, let us know what you think about all the things we talked about. And thanks again for coming on. It was a lot of fun.
Yeah. Thank you for having me.
So we'd like to thank Matt for coming on the podcast. This was so much fun to get to talk with him. Really great. I hope y'all enjoyed it. Let me know what you think about all the things we talked about in the comment section or on Twitter. And you can find me at Rachel's Reviews, all of our social media, iTunes, YouTube, and on Rotten Tomatoes. And you can follow the podcast, Hallmarkies Pod, Hallmarkies Podcast, all of our social media. If you are listening on iTunes, please leave your ratings and reviews. That helps us so much, helps the algorithm so much, more people to find this show. Please do that. And then if you're watching on YouTube, please give the video a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel. We appreciate that so much. We also have the Patreon group, which is the biggest way you can support everything I'm doing. And you get to be part of our watch alongs and other events and things. It's really fun. So please check the Patreon out. And then we have the merch store where we have tons of fun Hallmark inspired designs. Take a look at that. And thanks so much again to Matt. We'll talk to y'all later.